kids are sleeping, the house is quiet. Right now, I'm just reflecting. You see, I my journey to have children started in 2013 to add on to my family. And at that time, the government was funding IVF. No doctor wanted to see a woman over the age of 40 because right now they care more about their statistics than anything else. But when the government stopped funding, that's when they ended up calling me. You see, when the government was paying for IVF, the doctors were taking advantage of the government because they said they did the retrieval and then they didn't freeze the embryos. And you know what? What did they do with the embryos? Did they destroy it or did they freeze it for themselves? Or did they were charging the government for second retrievals, third retrievals. And the government was just paying for it because the government didn't put on any restrictions on them. And you see, couples are not aware of everything and the questions that you should be asking. It's like having contracts, having dispositions, having everything, genetic testing on the embryos, and you know having the truth and being told the truth right off the back, and instead of you having to research it on YouTube and finding out your legal rights. Not everybody knows about what your rights are. You see, you have to find it out on your own. And right now, I've learned a lot along the way. And for me, I found out the hard way. It's like I knew about the disposition contract and I did ask for it. And we don't do that here. And that's standard practice, having a disposition contract with your doctor on what you're going to be doing with your embryos after you finish using them. And, but he thought because he didn't do a contract with his clients that gave him the right to use your embryos to do what he wants. And that's not the case. You see, there's many ways of having children. Either you're using your own genetic material or you're using someone else's or you're having donated embryos. You see, I was talking with a friend and she goes, did you look up on YouTube that donors who were taken advantage of, donors who were overstimulated, that they thought they were only supplying one couple with a donation, but instead that they were being basically harvested like animals, that they were having so much stimulation that put their lives at risk, and the doctors didn't care. And that donors that were abused, like female donors, and that their trust was broken. You see, there are wonderful people out there that give of themselves to help create a family for someone else. And you see, everybody's on board. The donors know that they're helping somebody and they're happy to do so. Like male donors, female donors. But what happens when doctors abuse the donors? See, donors are supposed to be protected. And like if you go through an agency, you sign a contract with the agency saying if it's a single donation or if it's a donation with another couple or multiple couples. But the clinic is aware of it. And when you have a solo cycle, it's supposed to be a solo cycle. And you see, my friend was telling me that there are so many donors that are being abused and harvested for their ovum. And the ovum is being sold illegally without their knowledge, without their consent. And I go, that's just another issue. I go, like, dealing with fertility clinics, and when you're paying them to do a job, and my TV went out, you know, what are you gonna do? You know, it's like you're trying to do something, but at the same time, you're being taken advantage of. And what happens, you know, when you're being abused, you know, and lied, manipulated, you know, and you're supposed to be able to go to your doctor and trust them to do the job for you. You see, when you go to an IVF doctor, you go into his clinic, he tells you what his services are and how much they cost. You agree or you disagree. Because there's many different clinics and they all charge differently. But what happens if you go in to the clinic and you agree to his services and you agree for him to do this for you? You're supposed to be able to trust him that he's not going to steal ovum from you and that he's not supposed to steal your embryos or lie to you and say that he destroys them. You see, the doctor that I went to, I trusted him. And I believed in him. But I know that he lied to me, he manipulated me. He told me that he destroyed embryos when he didn't. He sold them to another infertile couple, and they were willing to pay him for it because they wanted a baby desperately. Instead of going to an agency and hiring an agency and finding and picking out a donor. You see, like, I'm not sure if they knew that ovum donors existed and agencies existed, or if this was their last hope, going through this doctor, selling them stolen embryos and paying for it. See, the truth will come out how much they paid. $5,000 or $10,000 per embryo. If, you see, the truth will come out. And I don't forgive this couple. Not a long shot. They knew they were stealing embryos because I met them in November of 2018 coming out of the transfer room. You know, they looked down at my son and they said, "You're so lucky to have a baby." And I go, "What will happen for you?" Not knowing anything. And the woman said, "I had to give away one of my embryos." And I go, "Embryos are property." And the husband told her to shut the fuck up. You know you're not allowed talking about this. She put her head down like a dog. And, you know, it's like, it wasn't okay the way he spoke to his wife. And he said she's on her 5th transfer. She can't even get pregnant. You know, it's like his wife was an animal. You know, it wasn't okay. And, you know, I think about my child and thinking about the kind of home that he's in. And what kind of values is he going to have? Seeing a man that he thinks that is his father belittling his mother. See, that's not the kind of home I want my baby in. And especially my baby was stolen out of the transfer room by BJ, the nurse. The doctor covered up for her. And he said he did the transfer. When he didn't, there was no speculum inserted. There was nothing, no ultrasound. He said, I was really fast. Trust me, Sharon, trust me. You know, no. Because she ran out of the room with the transfer tube in the hallway, going to the other room. See, I was in shock. I didn't know what to do. See, thinking back now is coulda, shoulda, woulda. You see, I shouldn't have went back to him doing another retrieval, but because of the prejudice that is here in Quebec about not wanting to treat women over the age of 40, they're more worried about statistics than anything. And even if you're paying, they still don't want to see you. And see, I was in the middle of trying to go to Procrea, and I did meet a really good doctor there, and he goes, I know it's possible for women over the age of 40 getting pregnant, but you would have to go in front of the board and try to get approval. We can try and run tests on you, like cardiac and blood tests, and to say you're healthy enough to carry a baby. I go, I just had a baby, like, come on. And he goes, I know, but we'll do it. And I was in the process of going to a clinic in Toronto and feeling the pressure of with the age limits and everything, and that I go, you know what, I'll take a chance and go back to see him. And I was speaking to a friend of mine. She goes, well, you better make up your mind very fast because it's in motion. I go, I know. Trust me, I know. $32,000 cycle. And I think he did it to me again because his number is number 4. He goes, only 4 of 18 eggs retrieved, fertilized. I don't believe him. And they couldn't be graded. And he transferred 2. I did get pregnant because there's nothing wrong with me. And I was pregnant for Olivia. And I go, maybe I might be able to let it go now that I'm pregnant. I thought about it for 8 months. And I couldn't let it go. Not knowing the system, not knowing who to go to and what to do, I thought that College de Médecine could help me. No. They're not there to help you. It's only if you were hurt, they would be there to help you. Trying to find out is very difficult. Trust me. Trying to get justice is very difficult. The police didn't want to take a police report because they never heard of this ever happening. No. I was dumbfounded, in shock. The pandemic hit, trying to get a lawyer, trying to get everything, trying to research it. It was very difficult. And trying to go through different levels of government and everybody bouncing you back to College de Médecine. Not even government officials know how to solve this. Why? Because there is no law protecting you in IVF. There's no law that protects your property. And your property should be under family law, and it's not. But once it's transferred, the heartbeat stops and everything, and then it should be under family law because it's not an animal. It's not an object like a car. And see, that's what it's under, property. Your embryos are property. See, my property was used by the doctor thinking, because he didn't have a disposition contract with me, that he could sell my embryos without my knowledge, without my consent. Even though the storage fees were paid, everything was paid for. He was using my property on that couple. And God knows how many other people. The truth will come out and the laws will change. And I want this to be very public. Not because I'm seeking fame or fortune or thinking that, oh, there's a lot of money in this. No. See, what I want is my baby. I want to do the DNA test. I want to regain custody of my child. I want everybody involved in this crime punished. I want them prosecuted. Any couple who stole embryos should be prosecuted under the law. Just like receiving stolen property. Like if someone breaks into your house and steals your TV and your Apple Watch, and you want your property back, they should be prosecuted. They are not innocent in this crime. They paid for stolen property. You see, under the law, once it's fertilized, the ovum is fertilized, an adoption has to take place, just like a regular adoption with a baby. It needs to have a home study. It needs to go through a lawyer and have the lawyer sign up a contract with the couple, giving up their parental rights. See, I never give up my parental rights. See, the doctor said, you don't need to have parental rights given up. Absolutely. I never signed away my parental rights. Under the law, I'm supposed to be protected. And he thought because there was no disposition contract that he didn't need it. He can do whatever he wanted. Like a thief in the night, stealing your property, coming in your home, invading you. See, that's how I feel. I'm being violated. With a smile on his face and being so nice. And you think he's such a wonderful guy. He's not. He's just another thief. You see, I'd rather take my chances with the mob than deal with this guy. At least the mob and organized crime has integrity. There's a code of ethics. And you know what? This guy has no code but money, blood money on your child. Stealing your baby. I said, so, you not even knowing that you have a baby out there. You see, your wife, or you may not even know you have a baby out there. And you could be home sitting there with your wife, wishing for a baby, praying to God to have a little boy or a little girl come into your life. And another couple has your son or your daughter, and you're not even aware of it. And see, that's why I say it's a silent crime that happens behind your back when you're not looking. See, we put too much trust in IVF clinics, thinking that they're there to help us to conceive that baby. But what are they doing behind our backs in the labs with no one looking over their shoulders? They're divvying up ovum, embryos, and selling it, making more money on you. You think you're paying an arm and a leg already for IVF, but it's not enough for them. They're not happy with the amount of money that they're getting. They're trying to make more money on you, and having people who are desperate to have a baby that for one reason or another can't adopt or can't go to an ovum agency and have a donor. For one reason or another, it's happening. Why couldn't this couple go to an ovum clinic that deals in having an ovum donor or a surrogate? Why couldn't they go? Ask yourself that. What's wrong with them that they would prefer to steal embryos from another couple without their knowledge, without their consent? What kind of people are these? See, I've been thinking about this long and hard. And for especially that woman, how could she look at that baby and say, I love you, knowing what she did to another woman, knowing that she was hurting another woman? See, I'm missing out on a lot on my son. Missing him growing inside me. Missing hearing his heartbeat for the first time. Seeing him born into this world, taking his first breath. Seeing him crawl and walk. My son is missing out on having a brother. See, don't get me wrong. I don't regret having my daughter. But, see, I have my daughter now because of what happened to me. Because I had to do another retrieval. See, if he had to transfer that into my womb, see, I would never have known about the crime that happened in the clinic. It was only because of two decent women that were disgusted with what was happening. So you know what? Good people do pay for the wrongs that people do. The thief, the nurse that ran out of the clinic, the embryo room with my embryo, it still has a job, still working. I bumped into her at Vendôme Metro. See, the clinic is very close by. And she's still working. She saw me holding Zane's hand and had Olivia in my arms. She looked me dead in the eye and she bolted. You see, Gary was behind me with the Prego stroller. See, if Gary had to be close by, I don't know how I would have reacted, not having the babies in my arm. See, I probably would have confronted her. And her story wouldn't have meant shit to me. See, I grew up very, what's the word? I grew up on the streets, basically. And I know how to deal with scum. You see, I probably would have lost it. The police would have been called. She would have been in a coma because I would have kicked the shit out of her. See, people like that, they don't deserve to be on this earth. How could she do this to another woman. Especially, she is an IVF nurse. You know, how could she knowingly steal my embryo? See, I tried to find out how to report her with the Nursing Association. And I did speak to a woman, and she goes, you have to go through the closest hospital, because all IVF clinics have to be linked to a hospital, which is the super hospital. And I did call up, and I do have to talk with the ombudsman of that of the hospital to file a report and get that done. That's another thing on my bucket list, because I have been getting advice from different people telling me how to do this, and it is greatly appreciated. And you know what? I thank you for everything that you have done. And right now, you know what? I'm trying to fight. That's why I have the YouTube video going and showing you my children, trying to put a face to this. You see, I had another friend tell me that my videos are ranting about what happened and that I shouldn't sound so angry. I am angry. I'm upset. I'm devastated. You know, no woman goes into an IVF clinic to divide their ovum, to divide their embryo for an infertile couple. You don't sign up for this. But what happens if you're put into this position without your knowledge, without your consent? And see, this is what I'm trying to get at. They never had my permission to do this. You know, I'm sorry. As far as I'm concerned, you know, there's no forgiveness. See, this doctor, he may have thought that he was creating families, whatever, helping infertile couples. And maybe, you know, like playing Robin Hood, you know, steal from the rich and give to the poor, and, you know, well, more like steal from the fertile and give to the infertile, you know, but we'll make money. You know, well, you know what? He needs to pay. This nurse needs to pay. And right now, you know, I'm bringing it to the light. I'm putting a face to this. And you know what? I don't care about money. Money's like water. It comes, it goes, you know. The one thing that I care about is my family, my kids. You know, I never wanted to be in this position. I was put in this position. So now that you put me in this position, be prepared for the shit that's going to come your way. McCartney, Tasha, not. I don't give a shit about them. I'm not releasing you from your wrongdoing, BJ's wrongdoing. No. I'm holding you accountable. And I will sue you. And you know what? I will donate the money. Because to me, this is blood money. This is on my children. Their blood. How can I take money by selling my child? No. I want my baby. And you know what? No amount of money can replace my child. No, I want my baby, and I will never stop. You know what? People have to know. And let me tell you, like I said in previous videos, once my face gets out there, the people that were in the clinic sitting there beside me will recognize my face and say, she looks familiar. I was sitting beside her at the IVF clinic. Nah, is it her? Am I a victim too? Is it possible that this happened to me? You know, I'm going to open up the floodgates, and people are going to demand DNA testing on all these donor babies compared to their DNA. How many children have you stolen? Let me tell you, the people are not going to stand for this. It will get out there, and it's a matter of time. See, I will never stop. I will never give up. $32,000 cycle. See, the first doctor I had, everybody knows he's a thief. Let's call him Dr. T. See, everybody knows he's a thief. He will scam you out of money. Send your blood to the US when it could be done here for free. One of the blood tests that he ordered was a basic blood test that a normal woman trying to conceive is going to take prenatal vitamins for folic acid. It's to measure your folic acid levels. An $800 test in US funds, by the way. See, me, I'm a cheapskate. I found out that you can have it done at Notre Dame Hospital for free. I did. And that's where I found out that it's a folic acid test. And he's scamming people out of this. See, he's getting a percentage off it by ordering these private blood tests. And people are desperate. So people pay it. I want a baby. If you can help me, I'll pay it. You see, from, let's say, 2000 and end of 2009 to 2010, I was going to see this doctor. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you know what? It was only when I, really pushed the subject and all that, because like he knew he wasn't going to make any money on me unless I really needed to pay. So he wasn't going to help me. And 2016, that's when I put the pressure. I did a retrieval. End of 2016, December. He failed the cycle on purpose because he wanted to make more money on me. And I freaked because, like, you know what? I don't know about you. $32,000 is a lot of money. I freaked out. And sending emails back and forth between the gynecologist. That's another thing. Make sure your IVF doctor is actually an IVF doctor and not a gynecologist. Because once a gynecologist does the procedure in IVF, they're considered a professional, even though they did not train in this field in endocrinology. You have to make sure that they're actually an IVF doctor, not a gynecologist trying to make money. See, I found this out too. And it's actually law in the Collège de Médecine. If you performed one procedure, then you're a professional. See, this doctor that likes to make money, he has a little weasel working for him that is an IVF, that is a gynecologist. And he's presenting himself as an IVF doctor when he's not. And he's a well-known doctor here. And he is following this doctor because he knows he can get rich off of him, along with him. The little nibbles that he's throwing behind. You see, that's what people care about in this world, is money. How much money they can make and make it fast. See, IVF is a very simple procedure. It's nothing complicated. You see, it's just inducing your ovaries to produce follicles and eggs, and monitoring the size, and then doing the extraction, and then isolating them, and then fertilizing them and having them in the incubator. It's not a big deal. I don't see why it costs so much money. You see, the government should take over and have their own IVF clinics and having it under control. Not allowing doctors to make millions and billions of dollars on the backs of women. Something needs to be done. Because you know what? It's not okay. See, there's supposed to be a law against discrimination. Even at the super hospital, the infertility clinic refused me because they didn't think I would get pregnant. Surprise! I got pregnant the first time I tried. Surprise! When an actual embryo was placed in my uterus, I got pregnant again. See, there's nothing wrong with me. And sometimes it's just timing and luck. You know, there shouldn't be discrimination. And there's a lot of it. And it will come out. All the doctors that refuse me, trust me, your name is going to be brought up very soon. I will expose everything, all the dark side of IVF. You know, I was actually talking with a doctor where I did the first retrieval. The doctor, like I said, why couldn't he get another doctor if he was rushing on time? And he goes, and I go, I paid for it. You know, why can't he just pay the other doctor? And he told me that the other doctor, like, he only used the facility there because it was another clinic. And he owed the clinic over $100,000, which he never paid because he's a scum. And he put the money in his pocket, even knowing that he owed money. See, he opened up other clinics in Ottawa. And you know what? He popped them up all over. And there was actually an article done on him with the CBC. It's where you don't have to have labs. They end up putting the semen and the ovum in like a little capsule, and then you put the capsule inside the uterus, and you use the uterus for being the incubator. And you know, a lot of people, it didn't work. And there was a news story that was done on it. That's the same doctor that failed my cycle on purpose. And That's when I went to see the other doctor, which is not that far away from him. See, never go for a nice smile. You see, people are scum, especially when it comes to money. See, I want to know how many kids are out there that belong to me. And personally, I don't care if there's 50. If they are from my retrieval and the DNA matches up, I'm taking my child. I don't care. See, I will raise what is mine. See, I never agreed to give up any of my ovum, to give up any of my embryo. No. So if you were involved in theft, let me tell you, tick, 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 tock. Because the cabinet minister has gotten my documents. Hopefully, they will start an investigation and have a task force put together. It's just a matter of time. See, I'm pushing and pushing. And right now, for them, I'm a liability because I'm talking on YouTube. Because you know what? I believe in transparency, having everything up front, and telling the truth. See, the police don't want to be in contact with me to let me know because they know I'm blogging. And you know what? Transparency, tell the truth, shame the devil. And if you think you're going to steal my child, think again. Why do you think I'm posting my daughter's face and my son's face on YouTube? Genetics is very strong. And these kids look alike even though they're half siblings. See, my son is a full sibling. Olivia and Zane are half siblings. So let me tell you, they look alike. So people will look at your child and look at mine and say, geez, they look alike. I wonder if this is one of the stolen children. Listen, I do things for a reason. And trust me, I will never stop. And let me tell you, it's coming. Day of reckoning is coming. And you know what? It doesn't matter how many there are out there. I know of one right now, but I'll find out if there's more. And I will blog it too. And other people will wonder if how many children they have out there. Why they're not getting pregnant with IVF. Is their doctor doing a fake transfer with them? See, like my doctor did 2 fake transfers with me. One in December when the embryo was stolen out of the room, and the other one in February. I'm not sure about the one in November. He says he did one. And he goes, I guess I owe you some money. But see, I never brought up money with him. Because if I had to accept money from him, I could never go after my child. Because like, it would be considered like I was paid. I'm not stupid. Let me tell you, when you grow up on the streets, you think on your feet. You either think on your feet or you die. Trust me. I know how to think on my feet. I know how to think fast. And trust me, I'm not going away. We will see each other again and again and again. Trust me. See, those were my doctor's words. Trust me. I don't trust you. I can tell you one thing. Trust me. You're going to see my face over and over and over in your nightmares. Because you know what? Your problems are only beginning. Jail is waiting for you. And you know what? Where I grew up, I have a lot of friends that are on the inside. And let me tell you, I'm going to put a price on your head. And you know what? There's a lot of guys in the jail that don't have money. And they need canteen money. So let me tell you, I will give you pain just like what you gave me. Trust me. See, for me, money means shit. It's like water. Try to hold on to it. What you did to me, I will never forgive you. Never, 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 never. You see, where I grew up, if you scuffed someone's running shoes, you got a beating. Trust me, what you did to me, there's a warm place for you. And I will make sure that I will torture you for the rest of your life. I will ruin your reputation. I will tell everybody. And everybody will find out what you did to me and what you did to other people. So the pain is coming for you. It's just a matter of time. See, I never claimed to be a perfect person. I never claimed to be anything but me. What you asked for, I paid you. I paid everybody. See, I always do what I say. If I'm saying I'm going to pay you, I'm going to pay you. You sent a price, I paid you. But it wasn't enough. So now, my collection is starting with the police, with the cabinet minister, with Premier Legault. They will make sure that you pay and pay and pay and pay. Because you're a liar, a thief, a manipulator. You're the worst kind of thief in this world. You steal children. You're a scum. And I don't know how you look at yourself in the mirror and know what you do on a daily basis. So you know what? Am I bitter? Yes. Am I disgusted? Yes. Am I angry? Yes. See, I'm doing it the right way. And I'm going to make sure that you're synonymous with child theft, embryo stealing. You're supposed to be the good guy. You're supposed to be creating families, helping women get pregnant, creating children. But instead, you're stealing children. You're stealing the embryos for money. See, you're the worst kind of thief there is. You steal from families that are desperate to have babies for money. So I hope you made enough money on my back, because I can tell you, I'm going to haunt you for the rest of your life. I will make sure wherever you go, they're going to know about this. See, I know about your practice in the States. I know a lot about you. See, there's an old saying, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. And right now, I have you here. And let me tell you, my eye is on you. I know everything. And trust me, the day is coming. I will make sure that when the law is put into place, your name is going to be there for theft of embryos and children. And this is why we need law, to protect women and children. You picked the wrong woman to deal with. See, I will never forgive you. McCartney test show, let me tell you. No. If this is the kind of person that you're representing, your firm deserves to go bankrupt. Scum don't deserve to be represented. You see, he already admitted the truth to me. Talk to your client. Ask him to tell you the truth. Because I have a witness. See, Gary's not my husband. Gary's my friend. And he can be used as a witness, material witness. Because he did admit the whole story. So you know what? Talk to your client and find the truth out before your reputation goes up in smoke. You know what? My lawyer used to work for you. So he knows all your ins and outs. So let me tell you, if you think I'm going away, think again. There's always a strategy. It will never go away. So go to your client and ask him, is this woman telling the truth? Is the DNA gonna prove her right? Ask him. And because you know, and I know, when you commit a felony, the insurance will not cover him. So you know what? If you want to get paid from him, out of his pocket, continue to lie. You can take over his business, take over his house, everything. Because the insurance is not going to cover him. Because a felony happened, a criminal offense. So let me tell you, it's happening. I'm here to protect other women and other families where they don't have to go through what I'm going through right now. Wondering what kind of family my son is in, how he's being treated. You know what? I'm sorry. I never agreed to this. So you know what? My life's mission will be to get the truth. And I will not rest. Let me tell you, I will never rest. You see, my child is what was stolen. See, my little angel likes to be next to me. And this is my baby. And you know what? I want my son. Look at her face and tell me, if someone stole your baby, what would you do? How far would you take it? So if you agree with me, you know, stand up with me and let's change the law. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's change the law together. Let's stop IVF doctors from stealing children as cells and selling them, because it has to come to an end.